All right, Sort of Sports Podcast, episode 177. And for once, I busted out the mic for the video pod. Ever since I started doing these video pods, I haven't recorded it with a microphone. So we'll see if this is good or if this is bad. But we'll attempt it for one of my favorite episodes to record every year, and that is the official NBA predictions podcast. For those of you that tune into the NFL EV passes with me and Austin Fisher, you'll know that I offered Austin to be on this, but he said he does not do NBA predictions this deeply and did not want to be involved. So, for his sake, he is not involved. Hopefully, he doesn't have to stress about his NBA picks because of that. And if you're not tuning into the NFL week EV passes every week, Austin and I run down the 6 bets that he likes for the week, and then we do primetime picks where we pick all the winners of the primetime games. I think right now we're currently tied on the season. We've both been relatively bad, honestly. So it's been a fun time. So that's like we've been doing weekly NFL stuff. Still trying to get Braden back on, but he is quite a busy man. So that's mostly how we're doing stuff with Austin at the moment. And I've been enjoying doing the weekly stuff with Austin, and this is a solo pod for me. So for all you that enjoy the solo episodes, here I am. Rock me like a hurricane. So let's get into it. Let's start off with the Eastern Conference. The conference that I think, it was funny because looking into this NBA season, I have a lot of high hopes because I'm excited to see how the product is presented on NBC. I was just talking to some friends of mine at lunch, actually RJ, who's obviously been on the show before. I said to him, I really just get frustrated with the NBA because it is built to be consumed on Instagram through player highlights. That is the way they built the product. They want you to follow your top 5 favorite players and follow them on Instagram and like their highlights. The NFL is built for you to watch every game your team plays every week and the primetime games that go with it. That's what the NFL wants you to do. The MLB, they just want you to follow your favorite team. If you want to tune in for the national games, that's cool, but for the most part, just follow your favorite team. It's 162 games. It's a shitload of games. Just follow your favorite team. I really don't like that system for the NBA. I think it really hurts the regular season. I think the regular season would feel more important if people cared about their teams more. It would mean something to win 40 games. It would mean something to win 50 games. It would mean something to win 60 games instead of just, oh, well, this helps me push my agenda for this player. The NBA is built to be talked about on like sports takes shows now, and I get that that's what they want. It gets the product out there, but I don't think you're creating a lot of deep fans. I think you're just creating conversation. And I don't think it's a recipe for success. I don't think you're creating long-term fans. I think they're creating like the most amount of casual fans possible, and it really hurts somebody who kind of cares for the product as a whole. Does that make sense? That's just that's kind of the way I see it. And I really hope NBC puts more emphasis on the teams and their histories and really creates something special with that. I would really like to see that, and I think this season would feel more important. I fully believe the NBA season should be shortened. I would like for them to open on Christmas Day. I think the NBA Cup should replace All-Star Weekend. I have a lot of thoughts about the NBA and how NBC can come in and really change things up, and I really hope NBC does make some major changes, and I hope they do put more emphasis on these things because I think the NBA could be a really special league, but it currently is the weakest out of the big 3, I think. And we had a really special playoffs. I mean, that playoffs was so much fun. And that finals was almost perfect. I really wish the Pacers could have got it done. Heartbreaking that Tyrese Halliburton got injured in Game 7. But it was a playoffs that I think got a lot of new fans and there a lot of new interest. And so I really hope the NBA can capitalize that with another great season. And I really, really want them to make the regular season feel interesting. Because even me, I don't pay attention to the NBA until March. That's the way most people are. But if you put the NBA Cup on the Sunday after the Super Bowl, all of a sudden everybody would have something to watch after football's over, and you could really move into the NBA. I've said before on this podcast, I would like them to do a Sunday night basketball. As soon as Sunday night football ends, every week, Sunday night basketball, get 2 of your premier teams, put them on there, and every week we should have Sunday night basketball. Can we make sure every playoffs we have Sunday night basketball? And that's the other thing. Too many damn days between the playoff games. Way too long. Takes way too long. Really, the NBA needs to be better about scheduling the games and not giving so much time in between games. Shortened season, I think, would alleviate some of that if they shortened the season up. But, I got a lot of thoughts on the NBA can change the product. But let's get into the Eastern Conference. What I do think is interesting about this season is the fact that I truly believe the 5 best teams in the league, 4 of them are in the West. I think the best teams are the Thunder, Nuggets, Rockets, Cavs, and Timberwolves in that order. I think those are pretty clearly the top 5 best teams. I think you could talk to me and get the Knicks at 5, but even then, the top 3 teams are all in the West. I do think your NBA champion is going to be one of those 3. I think your NBA champion will be either the Thunder, Nuggets, or Rockets. I think there's a chance the Cavs, I think there's a chance the Knicks. For the most part, I really think one of those 3. Like, if you said the field or one of those 3, you have to bet on it, 100% taking those 3 over the field. I just think it makes too much sense. So let's start off with the Eastern Conference, just because I think there's a little more intrigue to it, right? Obviously the Cavs are the number 1 seed. This team last year won 60-plus games. They were excellently coached. Kenny Atkinson, Coach of the Year. Just a really good team. I don't think they improved in the offseason. I know some people believe they did. I guess part of it is I'm so close to the Cavs because a lot of my friends are Cavs fans. But I think they're going to miss Strus. I really do. I actually think Strus is underrated for them and what he can provide. And I think him being hurt is really, really going to hurt them in a way that I don't think people think about. DeAndre Hunter's good, don't get me wrong. But Strus I remember when he hit that buzzer beater. I mean, that was an electric moment. I think that was 2 years ago, though. I don't think that was last year. He has an energy about him that I think they will miss. I like the Lonzo pickup, don't get me wrong, but a part of me is afraid the Lonzo Ball signing is setting up for a Darius Garland trade at the deadline if things aren't going the way they want it to. If they're performing a little behind what they'd like, they trade Darius Garland away. And there's no time that Darius Garland's going to have higher value than during this season because there's some team out there that isn't very good that believes he can be their Tyrese Halliburton. And he can be a supercomputer for them on offense and lead a relatively okay team to be something special. Like, do the Toronto Raptors believe Darius Garland can unlock Scotty Barnes? Because I know there's a lot of people out there that are big Scotty Barnes people. I am not one of them because I've been being told that it's Scotty Barnes' breakout year since every year after his rookie season. Everybody's always saying, oh, it's Scotty Barnes' breakout year. Scotty Barnes is good, don't get me wrong, but we are entering now his 4th season. And, his rookie year, I don't think is that different than how he played the last 2 years. I'm not moved right now by Scotty Barnes. So we got to see more out of Scotty Barnes. I don't know why I'm talking shit on Scotty Barnes right now, but I'm saying, the Raptors can 100% sell themselves on getting Darius Garland. So I'm interested to see what the Cavs do, but obviously kind of clearly the best team in the East. You guys know I'm big on the Knicks, but I kind of got to see it with Mike Brown. Thibodeau was legitimately important to the Knicks' identity. And so I wonder if Mike Brown's going to be an improvement or if it's going to be kind of weird without him. But I have the Knicks at 2, second best record in the East. If this team's healthy, I think they can maybe win the finals. Like I said, there's a part of me that actually likes them more than the Cavs, to be perfectly honest. I just think the Cavs have more depth, so I'm going to take them to win more games if injuries come. I trust the Cavs more. But I think Brunson is as good as Donovan Mitchell. Really do. I think there's sometimes I believe he's better, honestly. I think I actually believe Brunson is better than Mitchell more nights than I believe the other way around. I think they're about the same talent-wise. I like Karl-Anthony Towns a lot for this Knicks team. I really like that trade, and they did it. I still don't I understand what the Timberwolves are doing from a money perspective, but from a long-term talent perspective, it's going to be hard to match somebody like Karl-Anthony Towns. And this starting lineup is the best starting lineup in the Eastern Conference. Is no doubt in my mind. If you're rolling out Brunson, Bridges, Hart, Karl-Anthony Towns, Robinson, it's a really good 5. It's just a really, really good 5. And obviously that's not always the 5 they run out there because there's times when you're the Knicks that you're like, okay, well, that's OG Anunoby is going to be starting for us today. And now I'm looking at the roster right now, they have Jordan Clarkson, who I think can come off the bench for them and legitimately help them out. I like Yabusele. I do. I think Yabusele is a solid player. So I think there's more depth here for the Knicks than usual. And they got Boo Booey. I don't know why I said Josh Hart started. He's their 6th man. I'm sorry about that. I don't know why. I'm a big Josh Hart guy. I think it's part of it. So, it was just funny. I was like, oh, wait. I had to think about it. I was like, wait a minute, Josh Hart. No. So, all right. Number 3 team in the East, I have my Detroit Pistons. I know. The 3 spot in the East is the spot where things get interesting. Cavs, Knicks, everybody knows that. Who is 3? And a lot of people are putting the Magic here. My problem with the Magic, and I have the Magic at 4, full disclosure. Everybody's like, wow, they were still pretty good even with the injuries. Ooh, the new uniforms are nice. For what it's worth, the new uniforms are really nice. I really like those. Desmond Bane being added, that's their third best player. That's really talented, third best player. Wagner, Paulo, Jalen Suggs is also good. So it's like, this is a good team. I understand this completely. I completely agree. The Magic are a really nice team. In order for the Magic to be as good as people think they're going to be, the third best team in the East, a frisky pick to maybe make a playoff run, Paulo's going to have to take a step up in a way that I am not sure I'm willing to bank on. Because my thing with Paulo is when he first came in, I remember when he was being drafted, and I told my buddy, I'm like, he's going to be really good. And he was like, no, he's not. And I was like, yes, he is. Like, legitimately could be like Giannis. And that is more so how he plays rookie year. Not one-to-one. He wasn't exactly like Giannis. But there were shades of that. And now I look at him, and I think at some point he decided it was Carmelo Anthony. I think that was the wrong move. I would like to see him attack the rim more. I'd like to see him post up more. He's becoming more of a jump shot guy. And I don't love that for Paulo Banchero. Like, I don't. And I was higher on him before that. And so in order for them to be as good as people want, he is going to have to step up and impress me. This guy, like Paulo Banchero, is going to have to be like an all-NBA second or third team guy for the Magic to be as good as people are projecting to be, which is a team that might win 50 games or around that, 48, over 45, I would say, is what people are kind of seeing for them. And I'm not ready to buy into that for the Magic because I've seen Cade Cunningham play at a level that can get the Pistons there. The other thing with the Pistons is they're the top candidate to trade for Lauri Markkanen. If they trade Tobias Harris and Jaden Ivey or Tobias Harris and Isaiah Stewart and some picks, like some sort of package to get Lauri Markkanen. Whoa. Like now, okay, the Pistons are maybe one of the best teams in the East now. And I would love, as a Detroit Pistons fan, like I would love, absolutely love for the Detroit Pistons to do that. They should 100% do that, but we'll see. But I trust Cade Cunningham and this Pistons roster more. I think the Magic people are just kind of automatically chalking in, mostly because of Desmond Bane. And I think the Pistons were good last year, and I think they can carry that over. And I like their top guy more than I like Paulo Banchero. So, show you where that ends. Number 5 is a team that everybody's high on. Their over-under is like 46.5 games, which is kind of absurd because, like, I get it. I really get it, okay? I get why people are high on them. But they're getting a little too much hype. Last year, the Atlanta Hawks, for what it's worth, won 40 games. They lost 42. This year, there are guys saying they could be 4th best team in the East. I like what the Hawks have going on. I think 46.5 for their over-under on FanDuel is a bit aggressive. Okay. Let me check. I looked at that number. I want to make sure it's still 46.5. I don't want to be giving false information out. So it'll be at the top of the list because it's Atlanta. So we'll just look at it real quick. I might as well make sure I'm actually accurate. If I'm going to do it. So here we go. Atlanta Hawks, 47.5. So it wasn't 46. It was 47. Okay. Well, good to know. I just think that's a lot, right? I get you're like, well, they could be 8 games better. Yes, they could. But we're nearing the 50-win threshold if we believe that they're over that. And that's – I like this Hawks team. I do. But I don't love – I think, is Dyson Daniels your second best player? Dyson Daniels really good. I don't know if I love his scoring capabilities as a second best player. If he's your second best option offensively. So that's kind of my piece with the Hawks. I agree this is a good team. I think if there is a Pacers for this year, right, like a team that could play like the Pacers, it is this Hawks team, no doubt. But I don't love it for like an absurdly good team. So that's why I have them 5. They are fun though. There is a chance they are even better than I'm saying but I think they're getting a little overhyped. Just a teensy bit. 6 is the Bucks. They have Giannis Antetokounmpo. I don't love Miles Turner being their second best player. There's a world where this team wins 50 games, they're a top 3 seed, and Giannis wins MVP. I don't believe this is the world we live in. Do I think Giannis will be traded this season? I don't. I really don't. I think if he were to be traded, it would be during the offseason. I don't see it happening during the season. I don't think this Bucks team is really built very well. I don't like what they have going on with their roster. Like I said, Miles Turner's their second best player. Not super high on them. I have the Bucks as 6. 7 is the Celtics. There's no way Joe Mazzulla tries to lose games. Jaylen Brown is probably a fun pick to be the scoring leader for the year. There's a chance Tatum's back in the spring, and if they're trying to make a playoff push, I wonder if they do try to get him back. That'll be interesting. I just don't see the Celtics team being that bad. So 8 is the Pacers. Same reason. I think this Pacers team, even without Halliburton, can still compete. I think Nembhard's like, hell yeah, give me the ball. I'm going to rock this shit. So that's kind of how I feel about the Pacers. Once again, Rick Carlisle is not going to lose games on purpose. Rick Carlisle wants to win games. I think Turner is a massive loss for the Pacers. I think they lost probably their best 2 players, honestly. But I don't see the Pacers going full rebuild on us. I don't see the Pacers having a bad season. Even though it's an absurdly good draft class of A.J. Debonsa, Cam Boozer, and Darren Peterson. Like, just an absolutely gross draft class. I don't see the Pacers having a poor season. I think they still compete and make the 8th seed. 9, I have the Sixers. VJ Edgecombe is potentially going to become the internet's new favorite player. This could be the internet's favorite team. Jared McCain, VJ Edgecombe, Tyrese Maxey. Fun team. Quentin Grimes. Just a fun roster. But I don't know what the hell's going to go on with George or Embiid. Are they either of them going to play over 40 games? Who knows? I don't. They're just, it's half the team is built to compete now. The other half is a fun team for the future. They should go all in on the future. Would anyone want to trade for Paul George or Embiid? I'm not sure, but I'm out on the Sixers this year. I don't have high expectations. I have them 9th. 10 is the Heat. I think they got worse. Ware's good. I don't have a lot to say about the Heat. I think they got worse. I don't think they're going to deal Halliburton. Sorry, Hero. Tyler Hero, not Halliburton, sorry. I don't think they're going to deal Hero. I think he's fine. I don't know. Is Tyler Hero their best player? It's him or Bam. I'm just not that intrigued. I don't know. That's kind of it. I don't think his Heat team's that interesting. 11 is the Hornets. Gosh. They're not better than these other teams. They're not. And if they were going to be, Brandon Miller would have to be healthy. And let's see, Brandon Miller has a really good season, and Brandon Miller is like, whoa, look at Brandon Miller. That's the way they win. Is if Brandon Miller's awesome and Knuppel plays off of him, that could be a fun team. But if LaMelo's trying to be your best guy, it's not going to work. They also have who's their starting center? I know the memes the Lion does not concern himself with the team's center rotation. I understand that, but you need at least one. I think it's a Plumlee. I want to say, is that true? I don't understand what's going on with this Hornets team. So yeah, they're 11. 12 is the Bulls. Like everyone on the planet, I think Matas Buzelis is good. I don't love what the rest of the Bulls have going on. Most fun scenario is the Bulls end up with a top 3 pick next year, and they get Boozer, DeBonsa, or Peterson. I think Peterson would be the most fun. There's an argument for DeBonsa, though. That would rock. But we'll see. I think the Jazz have decided they're getting DeBonsa. He's from Utah, going to college at BYU. I mean, come on. All right, 13 is the Raptors. I already kind of talked shit on the Raptors earlier. I don't know what this team thinks it's doing. It's barring some unforeseen thing, they're not going to be very good. So 14 is the Wizards, a team that's just waiting to draft Cam Boozer. That's the Wizards, or Darren Peterson, or DeBonsa, one of the 3, right? So I don't feel strongly about the Wizards. I like Trey Johnson. 15 is the Nets. This team was not going to be very good. They're going to have a lot of youth, and I'm not high on a lot of the guys they drafted. I thought they had a weird draft. I would think it'd be fun if those guys are good. Don't get me wrong, but I just don't have I don't have high expectations. So, all right, let's run through the Ryan Klinger All-Stars. I made this at the end of last season, and I'm looking at all these guys. I have to make sure Davion Mitchell did not move teams on me. So, for those of you that don't realize, the Ryan Klinger All-Stars is filled with players that I think are fun. I really think they're fun. They're not all-star level players. They're guys I think are kind of underrated, kind of undervalued, and guys that I think will the Hall of Fame. The Hall of Fame member of the Ryan Klinger All-Stars is Sadiq Bey. He is the first Hall of Famer. He's currently the only Hall of Famer. And Sadiq Bey is kind of the basis. Just guys who they're never probably going to be all-stars, and they would get taken off, honestly. Like if Davion Mitchell started averaging 25 points a game and people are talking about making the All-Star team, he would get ripped off the Ryan Klinger All-Stars, right? These are guys that I think they have fun games. I think they're fun to watch, and they're not exactly studs, right? So this is Ryan Klinger's All-Star team from the end of last year. So we're going to announce this going into this season, and as the season progresses, I will make the new lineup for 2026 because I can't choose right now. I haven't seen any of these guys play. So I'm saying this is starting off the year. This is the Ryan Klinger All-Stars. If some of these guys play well, they'll be removed. If some of these guys get outplayed by other guys, they'll be removed. So it's just a starting five, one guy at each position of who I think is fun. And we'll put all the former players and how long they were on the team. So, and why they were taken off. So starting off, we got Davion Mitchell, point guard for the Heat. I just think he plays hard. I remember him in college at Baylor. I like him a lot. I would love to see him improve. So I like just scoring wise, but I think he's a fun player. Shooting guard, we got Jaden Hardy from the Mavs, probably the most talented guy on the roster. I think this guy can just score. I like how big he is. I think Jaden Hardy has a little bit of mass to him. I think that makes him an interesting guard. Small forward, we got Denny Avdija. I thought Denny Avdija was going to be Luka Doncic when he was drafted. So it's just kind of, this is a bit of a like pick from me, or just like kind of for fun. You can, I think, was that 2020 draft? Was he the 2020 draft? 2021. I think he was 2020 draft. This is sad. I'm actually surprised I can't remember. Yeah, I think he was the 2020 draft. Let's check. He's only 24. Wow. Maybe he was a 2021 draft. No, I was right. 2020, ninth pick. Right now, Denny Avdija is on the Blazers. Denny Avdija, good passer. He can pass. Don't ask him to score a lot, though. So, Jarris Walker for the Pacers. He's our power forward. Love Jarris Walker. You guys remember him. He played at University of Houston. This guy plays hard. He honestly is maybe becoming too big for this list. If he starts starting for the Pacers and plays well, we're gonna have to get him off because he was just starting a little bit there, and I was like, ooh, he might become too big of a deal. Centers, Trace Jackson Davis for the Warriors. A lot of these guys are influenced, as you can tell, from where they played in college. So Trace Jackson Davis, remember him in Indiana. I think it's fun that the Warriors run him as a big center. I think he's 6'8". Like, he's not really that tall. So I think it's fun that they use him as like the PJ Tucker center. So that's why Trace Jackson Davis makes the roster. As you go on through the season, different guys will be out of the Ryan Klinger All-Stars. If you become too big of a deal, you're out. Or if you're not interesting enough anymore, you're done. But it's more likely you become too good and then you're out. So Sadiq Bey, Hall of Famer for the Ryan Klinger All-Stars. So hopefully you enjoyed that segment. Let's go back in and let's talk about the Western Conference. First team, obviously I have the Thunder winning the conference. There's a world where this team wins 70 games. I would be surprised, but I don't think it's completely out of reach. I think this is a legitimately great team. As I said before, SGA has a chance to have a really special career and be one of the best players of this era and really right. He could have like a top 10 career all time if things go his way. He already has a finals MVP, an MVP, and a championship. If they go back-to-back, now this guy has 2 rings. Okay, that's half of LeBron and Curry's, and he's 28. And this Thunder team isn't going anywhere. The thing is, I don't think he is going to have that level of career because Wemby's coming. And I'm going to be fully honest with you guys. This might be the last year I don't take the Spurs to win the finals. Spoiler alert, I do not take the Spurs to win the finals this year. But anybody who's seen the preseason footage of Wemby is if he can stay on the court, it's coming. Because I've been saying for a little while on this podcast, There is going to be a day we all wake up and go, oh shit, Wemby's the best player in the NBA now, and he's going to be for the next 15 years. That day is coming sooner than you think. Whether you think it's 2028, whether you think it's 2027, it's coming. And I don't think we're going to get out of the decade without Wemby being the best player in the NBA. I would be shocked if we even get... I would be shocked if by next year he isn't the best player in the league. Or at least second to Jokic. I think right now there's people that would rank him top 10. Just truly off of like conjecture, honestly. Like just believing that that's how it's going to be. That's absurd. So there is a lane for Shea to have like a Steph Curry-esque career. I think it's possible. But I wouldn't say it's probable right now with the Spurs. It's also the fact that they got Dylan Harper, who's looked awesome. I mean, Dylan Harper is going to be good for them. And him and Wemby is just going to be an incredible duo. So I know how I said the Thunder, and then I just talked about the Spurs the whole time. But you know how good the Thunder are. I mean, it's the Thunder. Yeah. All right. Number 2 team in the West, I have the Denver Nuggets. You guys know I'm a Nikola Jokic lover. I think this is the best roster they've had since they won the finals in 2023. I love the Cam Johnson acquisition for them. Every player plays better with Nikola Jokic. I would love to see what like Kyle Kuzma plays with Nikola Jokic. Like forget who said that. I don't remember if it was a tweet or if it was on Bill Simmons' show. One of the two. I heard that at some point, and I was like, yeah, that would be fun. Like just like a random player that like doesn't get a lot of love. Like what does Jalen Green look like with Nikola Jokic? Can he fix him? Is that possible? Jokic's that special. So the thing is with the Nuggets, they have the best player on the planet. I think right now, pretty clearly, NBA top 5. Because everybody's always talking about who the top 5 players in the league are. I think it's Jokic number 1, Shea number 2. I think 3, you gotta go Luka. I really do. I do think, or Giannis. Well, you know what? Let's do Giannis 3. Then we'll say Luka's 4. 5's where it's interesting. It's probably Tatum or Anthony Edwards. I would give it to Tatum if we're being honest. Yeah, I think that's right. But since he's hurt, we'll say Anthony Edwards to make it 5 right there. But the Nuggets, they brought back Brucey Brown, which is good. Bruce Brown was obviously very important when they won the finals in 2023. This is going to be a pretty deep team, and I legitimately am very excited to see what this looks like. My thing with the Nuggets is last year, they took the Thunder to 7 games in the Western Conference semifinals. And that was maybe the worst team we've seen Jokic play with since, in the 2020s. That series was electric, and they got better. And the Thunder, I think, are probably about the same. So I'm just over the moon excited to watch this Nuggets team. I think they might win 55-plus games. There's a chance they near 60. I don't think they'll hit 60, but I think they're near it. Jokic could have an MVP year this year, and I do think the Jokic legacy is very interesting because I'm fully ready to say he's the best center of all time if he wins another championship. My GOAT center is Hakeem Olajuwon. He could be outdone if Jokic wins another one. Just all the stats and stuff are just absurd, off the charts. And watching him, it's unlike watching any player. Other guys are like, damn, this guy's good. Jokic, when you watch him, it reminds me of when you watched LeBron and Curry in the mid-2010s, where it's like, these other guys are incredible. This is like a religious experience. That's how I feel about Nikola Jokic, and super excited for the Nuggets this season. I think Cam Johnson, Aaron Gordon, Jamal Murray, Bruce Brown, this is a good team. Strother's, I think, actually pretty good for them, too. And they got Jonas Valanciunas, too. I think Valanciunas is going to be solid for them. I love Christian Brown, too. He's still there. Christian Brown's still good. And so this is a good team. Come on. Don't lie to yourself. 3 is the Rockets. Full disclosure. A month ago, I was going to take the Rockets to win the finals. I am not taking the Rockets to win the finals. Fred VanVleet isn't as important on the court as I believe he is off the court. You read anything, the guys love him. He's the leader of the team, blah, blah, blah. I do think it's a real hurt for him. I would love to see my boy Reed Shepherd play well. Reed Shepherd, if you weren't the 3rd overall pick in the NBA draft, you'd be a Ryan Klinger All-Star. But you're too big of a deal to be a Ryan Klinger All-Star. Reed Shepherd, I want you to play well this year. I really do. But I have to admit, Fred VanVleet, I trust a little more. I've just seen more of it. And I really loved the Rockets bringing in KD. The top guy they needed is just a dude where it's, hey, man, we're down 5. 3 minutes to go. We need buckets. And KD's that guy. And be like, yeah. KD also has a really interesting thing in his legacy right now where he doesn't. His legacy is so fucked up. So fucked up. And he should be talked about with Curry and LeBron, but he's not because the 2 finals he has no one cares about. He only has the 1 MVP. But it's undeniable to anybody who's ever watched him play basketball that he is one of the best to ever do it. And I think if he could win a finals in this late stage of his career with this Rockets team, there would be a lot of people that start giving him his flowers. And I don't know if KD cares about that at this point in his career. I don't know if Kevin Durant is going to give that effort for that this year. But it is an interesting wrinkle into this Rockets team. And if the Rockets win the finals, Kevin Durant, as long as he shows up in those games, is going to be a major talking point of that run. But I have them 3. I mean, I like what they're doing. I think everybody likes what they're doing. It's a good, well-built team. So, number 4, I have the Timberwolves. There's a world where they have an even better season, and Anthony Edwards is the MVP. I think the Timberwolves will be better than they were last year. I don't think they're as good as these top 3 teams. I think they have some depth that they're actually working out. I'm interested to see how Shannon fits into the bigger picture. I'm interested to see how, oh my gosh, I just blanked. What is his name? The guy from Kentucky that they drafted that everybody was like, oh man, he's going to be pretty good. And then he really didn't do much last year. Oh my gosh, what is his name? It's definitely not Rocco Zakarsky. That's not him. Rob Dillingham. I'm interested to see how Rob Dillingham fits into the larger picture. But every year it goes by, Mike Conley is getting older, as much as I love Mike Conley. First guy to get paid $30 million. Credit to him. People forget. Mike Conley, first ever $30 million per year contract. Nowadays, that's like the money Keegan Murray's making. Actually, I think Keegan Murray just got like 4 years for like $150 million. I think he actually got 5 years, 140. So that's roughly... It's roughly 30 mil. So it's actually about right. Good job. There we go. Pretty proud of myself. So shout out Mike Conley for that. Number 5, I have the Lakers. What do I want to say about this? I don't think they had a great offseason. And I think if they did, they'd be like everybody's pick to win the finals because this team is Luka and LeBron. And the fact that they're not being talked about as a contender, it's kind of a damn shame because that's kind of like, there was a window here for the Lakers to have a really good offseason and become like a favorite to win the finals. And they didn't. DeAndre Ayton's their starting center. We haven't seen him play really good basketball since like 2022. Okay, I'm just not moved. I mean, they have Reeves, Luka, and LeBron. That's incredible. Those 3 guys can compete with any team's top 3. I like those 3 better than OKC's top 3. Really, I'm being serious. I think it's a really good top 3. From a versatility perspective, obviously OKC isn't beat because it's 1 big man and Chet, and then 2 guards with Williams and Shea, but both those guards are larger, so you can kind of put them wherever. But I'm saying as far as pure talent, I actually like the Lakers 3 better. I think it's a lot of talent. I will say Reeves is probably the worst of those 6 players, but LeBron and Luka are like 2-3, so it kind of balances out in my mind because you probably go Shea, Luka, LeBron, Chet, Jalen Williams, and then maybe Jalen Williams over Chet, actually. Probably Jalen Williams over Chet, and then Reeves. But there's nights where Reeves is just like electric. Just absolutely electric. Love Austin Reeves. But I'd be like the only Laker I'd even consider like wearing gear of is Austin Reeves. I think he's so fun. I remember there was like a rumor that he was like dating. It wasn't Taylor Swift, was it? I forget. It was funny. There was like a thing there for a bit with Austin Reeves where it was like, do you have a celebrity girlfriend? No, that was funny just because it's Austin Reeves. But yeah, this Lakers team, they're gonna win games, but they're not gonna be like a real contender. But they'll talk about them every week on First Take. I mean, that'll be a block. Let's talk Lakers. But all right, let's move over to the 6th seed, and that's the Mavericks. This is an interesting one. This is the most interesting team, I think, maybe in the whole league. Because there's a world where Cooper Flag's really good, and this team's like a top 4 seed. Like, they're the 4th best team in the West. And it's like, holy shit, is this team going to win the finals? Because, I mean, let me just run down for you the Mavericks depth chart, okay? Just as an exercise. Here we go. Their starting lineup is D'Angelo Russell, Klay Thompson, Cooper Flagg, Anthony Davis, and Derek Lively. Okay? Behind that, Dante Exum, Max Christie, Najee Marshall, P.J. Washington, Daniel Gafford. I know you're not excited about Dante Exum and Najee Marshall, but Max Christie, P.J. Washington, Daniel Gafford being your three guys behind that. Dwight Powell's still on this team because he will be till the end of time. And then Jaden Hardy, my boy, on this roster, along with Caleb Martin, one of the Martin twins. Gosh, this roster is so much I like, actually. Maybe I ranked them too low. Good night. I think this team's good. This Mavericks team's got a lot of talent. And if everybody stays in the court, you can't bet on that, obviously. You have to kind of factor in the fact that most likely Anthony Davis is going to get hurt. But guys, Cooper Flagg's going to win Rookie of the Year, and he's going to be really good. And if he's the third best player on this team, it's absurd. Like it is absurd. And I think there is a path for the Mavericks to be one of the best teams West. I'm not going to fully bank on it. I'm not. I'm too afraid because I think the injury bug could strike and this team could go downhill fast. But if everybody's healthy, it's a very interesting team. I actually want to look at their over-under on wins just because I'm so curious what it is. I think it's around 50, probably. It's my best guess. Oh my gosh. It's 40.5. Huh. Did not expect that. I did not expect that. But yeah, I just like this Maverick. I think this Maverick team's good. I really do. All right. 7, I have the Spurs. Once again, probably the last year Wemby is not going to be in the top 6 team in the West. They don't have the most depth. They're a bit top-heavy, but they've got Wemby. So, number 8 is the Clippers. I don't really know what to make of the Clippers. Full disclosure, I'm not really sure what to do with them, but here they are. We obviously all know we're not sure what's going to go on with the suspension, with the punishment for the Kawhi Leonard situation. So I'm not really sure what to make of this team. What's going to happen? Are they going to have Kawhi? Are they not? Is he going to be hurt? Is he going to be healthy? Who knows? I have him at 8. It's kind of that. Number 9, we have the Warriors. I don't think they got better. I don't. And I think they're going to trade Kuminga at some point. That's about where this ends. Number 10, I have the Grizzlies. I think they got worse. Don't love what the Grizzlies did. That's why they're here. 11, the Kings. They just got Russell Westbrook. That's fun, but like it's the Kings. If you're a Kings fan, listen to this pod. I don't know how you found me, but I appreciate it. I don't have anything else to say about your team, though. Hopefully you guys get a good pick in this next draft because it's like a loaded draft. So 12 is the Suns. I honestly think they could be even worse than 12. I don't like what they have going on at all. Is there a world where they trade Devin Booker? That's essentially where we're at. Does he want to come back to Detroit? Want to come join the Pistons? I say back because he grew up in Michigan. So 13 is the Blazers. This team isn't actually that bad. Maybe I should put them above the Suns, if we're being honest. But I'll keep them here because there's a chance. We're going to get near the end of the season. Some of these teams are just going to start to tank because this draft's so loaded. So 14 is the Pelicans. I probably should put them higher, but I'm just not. I'm not moved in the Zion thing. And so I'm like basically punishing them because I'm like, I don't believe in you at all. So I'm putting them here just to prove a point. And then 15, I have the Jazz. Coming in last. They want to be bad. They want DeBonsa. That's about where this ends. Poor Will Hardy. I think everybody agrees he's a good coach, and he's not allowed to be. Hopefully they do allow Lowry the Pistons. Let's move into the awards before we do playoffs. For MVP, I want to pick Jokic. I actually really think it could be Jokic. But right now when you're Shea or Jokic, you have to have such insane numbers, and you basically have to win 50 games in order for them to vote for you again, just due to the fact that you've already won it. The NBA has wanted it to be Luka Doncic, I think, every year since 2021, I want to say. No, 2021 was like the first year I remember like everybody was like, Luka's my pick for MVP this year, which has been Luka's 3rd season in the NBA. He still hasn't won it. And I think if he puts up near 30 a game and the Lakers win around 50 games, just within the vicinity, give or take 5, I think Luka's going to win it. They want it to be Luka. It's about where it ends. It's Luka's to lose in my mind, honestly. Like, they want it to be Luka. Rookie of the year. Once again, it's Cooper Flagg's to lose. They want it to be Cooper Flagg. Cooper Flagg would have to get significantly outplayed by Dylan Harper, and the Mavericks would have to be worse than I expect. Sixth man of the year, I have DeAndre Hunter. I think the Cavs are going to be really good. DeAndre Hunter makes sense. DeAndre Hunter. Defense player of the year, Victor Wembanyama. It will be him for the next 15 years. So that's, if he plays 82 games, he's going to be the best. It's a lot. I think he has negative odds to win defense player of the year. It's just insane. Most improved player, Amen Thompson. I don't think this is how this award should be voted on. I really don't. I don't think Amen Thompson makes sense. This guy was the 4th pick in the NBA draft. This is his 3rd season. Does not make sense. But I think this is the way it goes. I do think he's going to play a lot better this year. I think they're going to reward him with the most improved player. It should be more like a guy who comes out of nowhere and starts playing really well. Not a guy that we figured would be at this level. But ever since John Morant won it back in 2022, we just see... 2021? Was it 2021? Or 22? I think it was 22. Yeah. I think Ja won it back in 22. I will check, though. But ever since he won it then, this award has just been on a downward spiral, honestly. Because it's like... Lowry was the right pick. Like, when Lowry won it, that was, like, represents what I want. But, like, Maxey winning it, I was like, really? Yeah, Ja won it in 22. Randall winning at 21 is exactly what I want. And I understand there's not one of those guys every year. Ingram winning it was fine because it took him a while to break out. But when Ja won it that year, that represented what I don't like. And then Tyrese winning it, once again, represented what I don't like. But, like, Dyson Daniels is such a weird pick. Like, this guy was the 8th overall pick in the 2022 draft. So last year was his... Oh, my gosh, really? I wasn't even thinking about that. It's his second... Last year was his 2nd season. No, sorry, 3rd season in the NBA. I had to think about it. Last year was his 3rd season in the NBA. Wow, that was bad. Last year was his 3rd season in the NBA. And he got most improved. All right, fine. So I think Amen will win. Nothing against Dyson. Don't get me wrong. But, you know. I just like it better when it's a guy who's been in the league for a while and then they get it. And it's like, oh, look how he improved. Instead of like, this is a rookie who's developing. Does that make sense? Like, Dyson Daniels isn't most improved player in my mind. He's a guy who is just developing his game and getting better. Does that make sense? I don't know. Whatever. Maybe it's, I don't know. Not sure if I can really quantify this. Coach of the year, I have David Adelman. I think the Nuggets are going to be really good, and I don't have a team that's exactly coming out of nowhere this year, so that's why I have him. Okay, NBA playoffs. Let's do it. West. We'll start with the play-in. I got the number 9 Warriors over the number 10 Grizzlies, the number 7 Spurs over the number 8 Clippers, and number 9 Warriors over the number 8 Clippers. If you felt like that was too fast, I'm sorry. I hate the play-in. I think it's stupid. That sets us up. Like, okay. The NBA already has 16 teams making the playoffs, the most out of the big 3. Right. Okay. Why the hell would you now add essentially halvesy playoff spots for 4 more teams? It made sense during the bubble. Don't get me wrong. But now this is completely stupid. 20 teams have a chance to win the NBA playoff. Like, to win the NBA Finals. After the season's over. The season has ended. There are 20 teams that have a chance to win the NBA Finals. The longer the season you have, the less teams that should make the playoffs. Because you've had enough to see, you know what I mean? Like, just law of averages, right? We've seen enough of these teams to know who's good or bad. If you shortened the season, I'd be a little more sold on this. But you didn't. You play 82 games. 82 games. You have 20 teams. 20 of 30 teams have a chance to win the finals after it's all said and done. It's completely stupid. They should completely cut the play-in tournament. It's dumb. Also, the first round should be a best of 5. It's just where I stand. I will say the league is really, really competitive right now. A lot of parity. So I'm not as big of a fan of making it 5 games as I used to be. I used to be a bigger proponent of that back when we had just shitter team. Like, we had Nikola Vucevic and the Magic. It's like an 8 seed, and it was like, what are we doing? Nowadays, you don't see that as much. So fine, you can keep the 7-game series for the first round, but big picture, we got to cut the play-in. The play-in's stupid. It's so stupid. I hate it. And every year they have to explain to people how it works. regardless, my East plan, I have the number 9 Sixers beating the Heat, the number 7 Celtics beating the Pacers, and then the number 8 Pacers beating the Sixers. This gives me a field for the West of number 1 Thunder versus number 8 Warriors. I have the Thunder in 4. Number 2 Nuggets versus the number 7 Spurs. This would be a really fun first-round matchup. I have Nuggets in 5. Number 3 Rockets versus number 6 Mavericks. Another uber fun matchup. I want to take the Mavericks here, holding myself back. Rockets in 7. Number 4 Timberwolves versus number 5 Lakers. I have the T-Wolves in 6. This sets us up for semifinals of number 1 Thunder versus number 4 Timberwolves. It's also funny if the Timberwolves beat the Lakers again in the playoffs. It's like, wow, they just can't get past. You know what I mean? Just be funny. I have the Thunder beating the Timberwolves in 6. There is a chance the Timberwolves upset them here, but I'm not going to bet on that. Number 2 Nuggets versus number 3 Rockets. This would be an awesome series once again. I don't think the Rockets can stop Jokic, though. That has me take the Nuggets in 7. Gives me Thunder versus Nuggets, a rematch from last year. We're back, baby. Western Conference Finals. And I have the Nuggets in 7. I think this Nuggets team is really good. Like a really, really good Nuggets team. And so I fully believe that they can be in the finals. And I think you guys know that I said really positive things about this Nuggets team because I think they're going to win it. And we're going to talk about that here in a moment. But first, we got to do the Eastern Conference. So let's go back to the Eastern Conference. We got the number 1 Cavs versus number 8 Pacers. I have the Cavs in 5. The number 2 Knicks versus the number 7 Celtics. I have Knicks in 6. This would be really fun, especially if Tatum's back. It's always fun to get Knicks versus Celtics. Number 3 Pistons versus number 6 Bucks. I have Pistons in 6. It'd be so fun to watch Pistons win their first playoff series, and I'm trying to even remember when the last time when a playoff series was. Been a while. And then number 4 Magic versus number 5 Hawks. I have Magic in 5 here. Okay, this gives us a semifinals of number 1 Cavs versus number 4 Magic. This is Cavs in 6, and then number 2 Knicks versus number 3 Pistons. And this is where it gets interesting. 2 teams in the East that I really like. I will say there's an argument that you should take the Hawks far because the Hawks could be the Pacers this year, but I'm not banking on that. Here's what we have to discuss. Every year, it seems, there's a team that comes out of pseudo nowhere, varying levels of nowhere, to be in the finals. Back in 2022, I think was the last year we didn't have this. But last year, obviously the Pacers, a lot of people have them losing the first round, and they went to the finals and almost won the whole damn thing. Year before that, the Mavericks were good. Mavericks were not a popular pick to be in the finals, and they went. Significantly more popular pick than the Pacers, I must admit. And then, obviously, the 2023 Heat were not... that people did not think they were going to be in the finals. Like it was just an absurd run. The only reason anybody picked it was just because it was the Heat, and it was like, oh man, Heat culture, it's gonna be back. But 2022, I will say that was mostly chalk, like not pure chalk. I'm saying I think the Warriors were a 3 seed and the Celtics were like a 2 seed. But I'm saying it wasn't like a complete shock to have either of those there. 2021 at the beginning of the season, if I said Bucks Suns, you'd been like, really, the Suns do that well with Chris Paul? But it wouldn't be completely shocking. And then 2020, the Heat, obviously, once again. So I'm saying I think the Pistons are the team for this year. Now, I could be wrong. Could be the Magic. Could be the Hawks. But I think there's going to be a weird team to come out of the East this year. I'm betting on it being the Pistons. So I have the Pistons over Knicks in 7. Am I doing this because the Pistons are my favorite team? Yes, but I also think if they make a trade for Larry Markkinen, I really would like their odds. And even if they don't, I think there's a lot on this roster to like. And I think Cade Cunningham, if he can improve the way he improved last year once again, guys, he's going to be out of hand. So this gives us a Cavs versus Pistons Eastern Conference Finals. I have written in my notes Cavs in 7. I was really going to take it to be a Cavs-Pistons NBA Finals. Sorry, a Cavs-Nuggets NBA Finals. I'm going to change it to the Pistons right here because I think it's way more fun to pick a surprise team to be in the finals. Because I think the obvious final selections would be any assortment of the Thunder, Cavs, Knicks, Nuggets, and Rockets. Any of those, pretty obvious. But we've consistently seen we're not getting the obvious matchups. So I'm going to bet against the obvious matchups, and I'm going to take the Pistons to go to the NBA Finals. I think they get waxed by the Nuggets in 5. I mean, I honestly could maybe take the Nuggets for a sweep. I'm not going to lie. But I'm going to take the Nuggets in 5 to be your 2026 NBA champions. So congratulations, Denver Nuggets. You are my official prediction. I know it's a bit wild for me to take my Pistons, but I do truly believe in them. And I have a lot of a lot of faith in what they're doing. And it's not just the Lowry market and potential trade. It's also, I really like the roster they have, and I think if they can continue to be as good as they were last year, if they just win around 50 games, it's good enough for me. Because, like I said, we've seen these teams go on these bonkers playoff runs, and I think the Pistons are built for one of those playoff runs. You have a super dynamic offensive guard in Cade Cunningham, who is just like can become unstoppable, and you've got tough rebounding in Jalen Duren and Beef Still. And then you've got Asar Thompson, who if he takes a level up this year, that's a really nice piece. And who knows what Jaden Ivey is going to be when he comes back. Jaden Ivey can be good, really makes things interesting for the Detroit Pistons. So that's kind of my thoughts on the Pistons, on how they could really be something in the playoffs. So that's why I have them going to the finals, because I think we're maybe getting a world where the Cavs are kind of known for blowing it in the playoffs. I would love to take the Knicks, but I really think Tibbs was a big part of their identity. Mike Brown might be a total improvement on that. Maybe the Knicks are going to be better than ever before, but I'm not going to bank on it. I'm just not. So I'm taking Nuggets over Pistons. Bit risky, probably very risky, but I think it's fun this way. I really do. Also, like I've taken Nuggets Bucks for like 5 years. It felt like last year. I think I took Knicks over Thunder, which was fun. I was right on one of them. Well, I was honestly pretty close. Knicks made the Eastern Conference Finals. I didn't think about it. Honestly, it was really close. But so yeah, there was no way in hell I was going to predict the Pacers to win to be in the finals last year. That was absurd that happened. But super fun, just a super fun playoffs. So good. So okay, that is it from me. I'm surprised that this didn't go an hour. It was apparently very well organized. We even did the Ryan Klinger All-Stars. It was fun. But that's it. Really excited for the NBA. Tips off next Tuesday, October 21st. So you're listening to this probably on a Thursday morning. That's when I'm going to post it. So hopefully you enjoyed. NBA's back. I know you're probably not going to watch it till Christmas Day anyways, which is why that should be the opening day. But, we got to work ahead to that. We got to get to that point. The NBA makes some changes finally. So. All right, that's it for me. I will see you all in the next one. We'll be doing probably EV passes with Mr. Fisher for NFL Week 8, so that'll be fun. But that's it for the NBA. I'm sure I'll be cutting another solo pod soon because, I always got thoughts. So, all right, that's it. Thanks for tuning in.